All right, let's get started today. This will be part 12. Today is passenger side step. So I don't have really a good idea exactly how I'm going to go about this, as I've never tried to drill out spot welds and fit a piece in here, especially a piece that's kind of made like this. I haven't done it at all where I just remove spot welds and put a new piece in and tack them together and do the whole thing. And then I think on top of that, making it harder is the way that this thing is made. Looks like crap to me. So yeah, I mean, I don't know really what to expect. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to clean the area. I'm going to use a little mini band sander here and see if I can find where the spot welds are under this rust. And I've got a couple of spot weld drill bits. I'm curious to see if they do anything. I've never used one of those before, but I mean, how hard can it be, right? Well, let's get started. Well, that was considerably harder than I was expecting. First of all, the spot welder drill bit works good. As you can see, it drills nice holes, doesn't go too deep. But if you have any sealer, you can't really find the edge, you can't get the thing started. So I was looking at it and figuring, well, let me just start cutting it out. The problem is you can't find where the spot welds are when there's rust, because there's so many rust divots. It all starts to look the same. So what I did was I just laid the new piece on, took a spray can, sprayed where the edge is, cut on the inside of that so I have hopefully enough room to account for any mistakes there. And I just started cutting. And as you can see, there's spot welds across this piece and there's spot welds across that supporting member. But this thing here, man, this spot weld chisel is the bomb. Without that, I'd still be fighting this. So the next thing is, I think, to kind of get rid of the back side of this, I laid this on the anvil on the vise there, took a planishing hammer and tried to smooth all those ripples out, because this mates up against the bottom side of the floorboard. So now what I need to do is, you can see here, you can see in this ridge here, this is where this outer piece would lay on top of, but this outer piece itself has a fair bit of rust. And most likely the best thing to do is going to be to actually cut that out. Take a piece of new sheet metal, put it in the brake, put a 90 in it, and then tack it along here and along the top. But before I do that, I want to use it as a guide to get this piece in. So that means I got to get the old stuff that's still there from the old step down in there. I mean, technically, the old stuff is still strong because all the rust on this thing is all from water sitting on it. None of it's coming from the bottom up, right? It's all from being damp on the inside or damp sitting in the, you know, the window tracks and stuff like that. So that means the bottom side of this is fine. I'm almost wondering if I should just cut this bottom piece of this off, tack it to, I mean, yeah, I might do that, because all I really need is the top portion of the step here. Everything else is already in place and strong, and then I can just, you know, create a patch, because honestly, all I really have to have is pretty much from this hole to like right here. I can make a patch around that big, cut this out. I got perforation here. Yeah, so I, you know, maybe up to here. From here to here, cut it along the top here, and then cut it along the inside here. Remove this top layer, make a patch, put it in the brake, bend it, punch some holes on top, tack this down, and then when all this comes in, I can basically cut that along this edge here so it's a nice tight fit. And then, but actually I don't even really need to do that. Now that I think about it, I can drill down through this, and as I weld this on, I can weld that on. Yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. I'm just sort of working it out of my head. So that's I mean, that's what I got going on here. It's not as fun, but it's also kind of not as bad as I thought in some ways. But getting these floorboards out, even when they're really rusty, is not easy, man. These little friggin' buses are built well. Alright. Let's get back to work, huh? Yeah, so I was like, what could I do to make this a little harder? I know what I'll do. As I'm cutting it out, I'm gonna go ahead and just slice right through the wiring harness. Yeah, that's perfect. Sweet, yeah. So I'm gonna fix that now while I can see it before I start doing anything else. Yep. Okay, that's fixed. A couple of solder heat shrink connectors and a bit of webbing to protect it. She's as good as new. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna work on getting the panel. Am I? Let me think for a second. Second thought, I'm gonna work on getting the step here in, because the panel is gonna be sitting on top of it. So that means I gotta clean this out and get the step, however much of it I'm going to use, actually in place, and tack weld it in, so I can then lay down the floor panel, kind of bang it in place, get it situated, tack it in. Probably need to do some more cutting, and I'll definitely need to do some more grinding here and back here. But yeah, that's the plan. Alright, well, it looks like at some point I bumped the tripod here, so you didn't get to You won't have seen all the fun that I just went through to get this roughed in. My God. I was not expecting this to be such an enormous pain in my butt. It was a huge pain in the ass. I think it's because of the weird angles. And I'm trying to twist this thing around. I mean, it's an aftermarket part, so it's already not going to be perfect. And then I get it where I want it, then I run the cutter down and think I've got it lined up, and then I tack it, and then I see, oh, this corner's kind of out of whack, so I gotta move it around. By the time I'm done, I end up with this freaking gap here. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna cut a sliver. I mean, anyway, I gotta feel that. It's probably gonna be easier just to cut a sliver of metal. And I'm gonna have to, anyway, I'm gonna have to cut some more around this, what is that? That's the emergency brake, I guess, rod. And cut that around. And then when I do, I'll just try and, I don't know. Anyway. This was way more work than it's done. I still have some banging and hammering to do to get it so all these pieces match up, and then tack them in, and then cut them, and then grind them, and then weld them. It's just, holy guacamole, that's way more work than I thought it was going to be. This is enough for a day. Take a break. I am so tired. What I thought was going to be a fairly simple thing, which was putting in a preformed floor pan, because I've done floor pans before, but I've just used raw metal and cut them out, welded them in, and they worked fine. They were ugly, but they worked fine. They were much easier than putting this thing in. This was such a giant pain in the ass. Now, the floor pan that I did before was like under the driver's seat area on a Fiat 124, so it's fairly flat. It's almost entirely flat. Whereas this is not. And there's way more curves in this than you can see. Yeah, let me flip it around. Alright, so look, I know everybody's gonna tell me how freaking ugly this is. And oh my god, and what the hell. And I know. I get it. But what's important to understand is I don't care. Because I'm gonna have a giant piece of mat or carpet, mat I guess, on top of this. I just really need this to be secure and safe. So I'm gonna finish, where these misalign over here, way over there, right there. I'm gonna push them up, tack them over here on this bend over here. I may need to cut that tack so that this will slide up a little bit more as I push up on the floor, and then I'll tack them both in place. That was really handy because I needed to get this step pushed up enough that it met the floor pan. And yeah, this is just, I don't know why, I just assumed that this wasn't going to be as freaking hard as it was. This is all I did today. This is the entirety of the day, which I guess, you know, it's a decent amount of work. But I am so tired now. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to shower, and I'm going to... I think I'm going to find my hidden bourbon, and I'm going to have a little bit of that. And I'm going to try and... This is... All I was doing is I had taken my gloves off one time, and I just needed to do a quick tack right here. And look. Freaking massive slag burn. And on my thumb too. So right there, it like bam. So that's cool. Anyway, if you feel sorry for me, hit the like button. But if you think I'm a moron, then hit the like button. So hit the like button. Anyway, we're gonna see you next time. Peace.